The picture of mitochondria in your old biology textbook is wrong. You probably remember it. Little oval beans scattered around the cell, each one sitting there quietly making energy. Neat and separate. That's not what they look like. And once you see what they actually do, a lot of things about energy start making more sense. Your mitochondria are a network. A connected, shifting, physically moving network. They merge together. They split apart. And they do it all day, constantly, in response to what's happening around them. Let me walk you through it. When two mitochondria come together and become one, that's called fusion. When one divides into two separate ones, that's fission. Your cells run both processes at the same time all the time. Researchers call the whole thing mitochondrial dynamics. The balance between those two moves is what determines the shape of your network. Lean toward fusion and you get long stretched, highly connected tubes running through the cell. Lean toward fission and you get a scatter of small, round, separate fragments. Now, why would a cell bother doing this? Why not just leave them alone? Because merging lets them share. When two mitochondria fuse, they mix their contents. Proteins, membrane material, everything inside. So a mitochondrion that's struggling, one that's accumulated some damage, gets to borrow working parts from a healthy neighbor. It gets diluted back toward normal. That's a genuine repair strategy. And here's the key thing. It only works if they're physically touching. A fragmented, isolated mitochondrion has nobody to borrow from. It's on its own. So what decides whether your network connects or fragments? This is the part one found genuinely surprising. One of the biggest inputs is nutrient supply. When cells are sitting in a steady stream of excess fuel, the network fragments. Researchers have watched it happen. Grow cells in high glucose and the network breaks apart into pieces. The interpretation is pretty intuitive. When fuel is abundant, there's no pressure to be efficient. No reason to pool resources. Flip it around. When fuel gets scarce or the cell is under mild stress, the network does the opposite. It stretches out and connects. Under real scarcity, the mitochondria hyperfuse into large connected complexes, and that connected state appears to be protective. And here's the bit that ties it straight back to energy. When the network stretches into that connected form, the inner membrane changes too. It packs its folds more densely. Those folds are the working surface. That's where the electron transport chain sits, and that's where ATP, the energy currency you actually spend, gets produced. Denser folds have been linked with increased ATP synthesis. So a connected network isn't just better protected. It's structurally set up to produce more. Now let's make this practical. If nutrient supply is one of the main signals, then the pattern of constant grazing is worth thinking about. Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, coffee with something in it, dinner, and something in the evening. That's a nearly unbroken stream of incoming fuel from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to bed. And it sends one signal over and over. Plenty. No reason to connect. No reason to pool. So the free lever, and this is the actual takeaway of the whole video, is a gap. Not a diet. Not a fasting protocol with a name and a set of rules and an app. Just a clean stretch of time where you aren't eating. And overnight counts toward it. If you finish dinner at 8 and eat breakfast at 8, that's 12 hours and you haven't changed a single thing about what's on your plate. For a lot of people, that's just cutting the late evening snack. It costs nothing. Nobody sells it. That's why nobody's promoting it. Now I want to add an honest caution because this is where wellness content usually goes off the rails. More fusion is not automatically better. When researchers actually measured the structure of healthy mitochondrial networks, the numbers came out in the middle. Healthy networks sat in between the extremes of fully fragmented and fully merged. Neither pole is the goal. And that makes sense because fission has real jobs too. It's how damaged sections get separated out and cleared. It's how mitochondria get distributed to where the cell needs them. A network stuck permanently in the fused position isn't a healthy network. It's a stuck one. So what you want isn't maximum connection. It's a system that can still shift. That responds to signals instead of sitting in one position all day. And a system that only ever receives one signal, which is what constant fuel intake provides, loses some of that responsiveness. All right, let's talk about the machinery itself, and then I'll tell you where my own recommendation sits. Shape is organization. Output is chemistry. Even a beautifully connected network still has to run the electron transport chain to actually make ATP. Electrons get passed down a line of components inside those membrane folds, and that handoff is what powers production. CoQ10 is one of the carriers in that line. That's its job. It shuttles electrons between components in the chain. Not a metaphor, not a marketing angle. It's a physical part of the mechanism, and levels tend to decline as we get older. PQQ works on a different problem. In cell studies, it activates a pathway called PGC1-alpha, which is the master regulator for building new mitochondria. And the way researchers establish that is worth explaining because it's better evidence than most supplement claims get. They knocked that pathway down. When they did, PQQ stopped producing the effect. That tells you it's working through that specific route, not through something incidental. Now the honest part. Most of that biogenesis research is in cell lines and animals. There is some human work, including reports of increased peak oxygen consumption and raised PGC1-alpha protein, but it's a much thinner body of evidence than the cell data. I'd rather tell you that than let you find out later. So here's my order of operations, and it hasn't changed. The gap between meals is free, it's supported by a real mechanism, and it comes first. Do that one regardless of anything else in this video. If you want to support the machinery those signals are acting on, the link in the description below is an affiliate link to Mitochondrial, which is PQQ and CoQ10, and it comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you want more breakdowns like this, where I tell you where the evidence is strong and where it isn't, subscribe. That's what this channel does. This video is educational only, and it's not medical advice. Talk to your doctor before changing your eating pattern or starting anything new, especially if you take medication or manage a health condition.